Hello and welcome to Vaagmi Tarot. I hope all of you are safe and protected wherever you are, safe and healthy. And today I'm doing a very special reading again on a lot of requests from people about why are we going through corona times? Why has coronavirus happened to all of us in the first place, and why do we have to go through all this? So I brought out these cards, and believe me, when I pulled them out, I really thought they were divinely guided, like some angel really has is standing out there and is dictating these messages and telling us these messages. It's always like that, but sometimes when you see the cards, you will also know what I'm saying. So before I start answering the question as to why are we going through coronavirus, why has it happened, I would really like to thank you all for your likes and subscribes. Please keep them coming. They keep me going. I feel encouraged to produce more videos, do more readings for people, and just help out more, make more people happy. Okay, so I am jumping on to answering the question, why do we have coronavirus? Why are we going through it? Okay, so the first card that I pulled out is an oracle card, and it says looking deeper. I'll just bring it close to you. Looking deeper. Deep within me is a majestic radiance. Looking deeper means that now we cannot, that the answer of coronavirus is not about bats or eating exotic animals or things like that. What is on the surface may not be the right answer. Whatever is on the surface, maybe even allegations that countries are making on each other, that you've done it, maybe even those are not good enough. Maybe. Looking deeper, we need to go beneath the surface and look deeper than what is being said to understand why coronavirus has happened. Looking deeper has meanings on two planes. One is the larger plane, the plane which is outside, the world which is outside. It could mean global politics, global leadership, the world as a whole, secrets, underworld, I don't know what all. Something which is out of us. And the second meaning is, looking deeper, is the individual. Looking at yourself, evaluating yourself, and looking deeper into your thoughts, into your actions, into yourself. These are the two messages that came out when I asked the basic question, why are we going through coronavirus? And the simple answer that came out was, you need to look deeper. So then I pulled out two more cards to ask, what is it at large that is happening? Why is it happening? So, looking deeper. So what is the first thing that we can look deeper at? And so the next message was about the outside world, and I got the art card in the reversed. This is the art card from the thought deck, and you can see that there is like enemies drinking together or eating together, or a mixture of air and fire, or water and fire, and someone trying to bring all the elements together. So art is like harmony. Yeah, it's like magic sometimes, but it's mostly like harmony. But this harmony is reversed. I got it in the reversed, which basically speaks about a disbalance. Art in the reversed. Things are out of balance. Now what is out of balance? What's out of balance could be maybe the power that's in the world. Like, some countries are very powerful, some countries are going through war and poverty and crisis and things like that. Some people have a lot of resources, they're billionaires, and some people have less than $1 a day to eat. So it talks about disharmony, but these are worldly disharmonies. It also tells me at the outset that there is a struggle between good and evil out there in the cosmos, in the world. That is the disharmony right now. That is what is out of balance, disbalanced right now. And as this battle happens between good and evil, different things are going to emerge from it. So in Hindu mythology, there is this whole churning of the sea scene, where the forces of good are on one side, like the gods are on one side, and the demons are on one side, and they're churning a sea, and different things are coming out of the sea, that demons and gods are dividing between themselves. And finally there is, of course, the elixir of life, which can make you immortal, that comes out, and there's another tussle between the gods and the demons. Finally gods get the elixir of life and become immortal, and demons don't get it. But of course in that two demons steal it, like um, by trickery. They are able to get inside the queue of gods and also have it, and later gods realize that these two demons have kind of tricked us into having it. Well, that's another story. But just like the churning of the sea, right now, and it shows a tussle between good and bad, and everybody is trying to get something out of the churning of the sea, and the competition is who gets what, who gets the elixir of life. Of course at the end the light wins. At the end it's always the gods or the light forces that win. But while that struggle is going on, it's terrible. Okay, the impact on the world is that of complete disbalance, and that is what we are facing right now. And I clarified it with this card called the Six of Air. And you can see that the imagery in this card is a sea on a turbulent, a ship on a turbulent sea. That basically means that if the ship has to get anywhere, it has to make this passage. It's a rite of passage. Yeah, this disharmony between the light and the dark, between two forces, is something that has to happen so that harmony comes back to the world. Now this could mean that a lot of, on the material plane, it could mean that people are out of balance. People are governed more by demonic or dark forces than they are by light forces. More people are greedy, more people are envious, more people want more, they're gluttonous, they want to consume more, they don't want to care about the planet, etc., etc. Their food or eating habits are becoming more toxic, and all of those things. So all of those things are being represented by this. It could also mean that the governments around the world are kind of turning the planet into a place where there are more divisions. There is a lot of othering, there are boundaries, people are more suspicious of each other, there is less love. These things are not only at an individual level but also at the policy level, and that makes the planet out of balance again. And this tussle has intensified right now with coronavirus, and we have to go through this difficult time to let the dark and light forces, this fight between gods and demons going on in some realm of the world, be over. That's what coronavirus is according to my cards. And whatever side effects it has, the world has to go through it. This is a rite of passage. We cannot avoid it. We are in the world at this time, and we are certain kind of people. We are living in a certain kind of era, and we just have to go through it for our own good. The next set of cards show, so I asked, how are human beings responsible for the coronavirus? Have we done anything to make this happen? And I got, oops, I don't know why I'm dropping the cards today. The Tower card reversed. The Tower card in the upright position is a card of destruction, a card of old orders going away, old order going away, your comfort zone going away, a sudden disruption to your way of life. And it's all true, and it's in the reversed. And this is how human beings are responsible. Tower reversed. There are changes that we should have accepted, which we did not accept. So this moment happens when you know that something is not good for you, but you just carry on as business as usual and you don't make any changes to your lifestyle. So suppose we knew that we are polluting the planet, we are wasting too much energy, human beings are causing greenhouse greenhouse emissions, gas emissions, and warming of the planet, plastic waste, and all of those things, and we did not pay attention to it. And so now we are just forced to pay attention to all of it. The change is imposed on us. So we were supposed to have cleaner fuels, for example, but we did not stop flying in planes, we did not avoid unnecessary travel, we did not stop using more and more private cars, we did not use public transport. We are wearing more cheap clothes, more fashionable things, we use and throw, we eat junk. And so now we are in a position that we can't buy anything, we can't wear anything, we can't fly to anywhere, we cannot really drive, we can't go anywhere, we can't burn fossil fuel, we can't even make the trip from home to office. And so the change that we were resisting, that was coming, it has just been dumped on us. That's how we are responsible. And this change is here to teach us that this was possible. It's here to teach human beings that this was possible. Human beings would also mean world leaders. They can take policy changes right now, say on energy use, on how we can be more efficient, how we can avoid wastages in general. Even now, when we are not doing all those things, we are all inside our houses, we have a lot of time to think, we have to deal with the pandemic, the stimulus packages. What can stimulus packages do to help people who have not been very supported earlier, the poor people? And this has also happened because we have not taken enough care of the wealth imbalance that already existed in the world. Yeah. We took our wealth, we took our positions for granted, we did not help out. That's how human beings are responsible. And I have the strength card to clarify this card. When I asked how are human beings responsible, what can we do? And the strength card says that you need to have immense patience at this moment, immense strength, immense patience at this moment to be able to go through these changes. So basically these changes are inevitable. We are going towards a new world and we are going towards a place where light will win. We will go towards a better place. But that going towards a better place has a lot of strife in it, and interference is really my next card. And that strife, we have to, like, it's like working through your problems. It's like when a court case happens and two sides are fighting and one side is evil, it's got more money or something, but the innocent person has only evidence but no big connections, and you both are going to the court, and the whole process is so challenging, it's so taxing sometimes. The procedure sometimes becomes a punishment. In the end, of course, the innocent person may win, but sometimes the whole procedure of going to the court, getting dates, becomes a punishment. We are going through that punishment, and that's why there's a strength card, that to prove your innocence, to prove your humanity, to earn the right to live happily and peacefully in this world, you need to have patience. You need to go through it. There is no way anybody can avoid this. Because a lot of people are going through mental agony and emotional agony through all this, and we are all being tested in various ways, and we all have to go through these uncomfortable tests right now. This is what human beings have to do as they go through the pandemic, and that's human beings' role, to just bear with the forces of good and evil and take sides, decide which side they stand on. The next is, what is the disruption or the changes that coronavirus is going to bring in the immediate future, say over the next 1 year? And the card, so this is why I was saying that there are some readings, when I get them, I know that someone divine is guiding those readings. I got the interference card over here, 8 of Swords. Okay, and I also got the same card, 8 of Swords, to clarify it. It's called 8 of Air. Swords depict the air element, and so basically it's the same card drawn out at random from 2 different decks. How exciting. This interference card, you can see it's not a very comfortable place. It's not a very harmonious arrangement. So over the next 1 year, basically the world will have to grapple with big issues: hunger, climate change, gender parity, like really big principles, maybe, democracy, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, really big things that would govern our lives, right to privacy. And those big ideas, which are represented by these 2 straight swords, would be sabotaged, constantly be sabotaged by many small challenges. There will be naysayers. So basically that struggle between the good and bad will continue over the next 1 year. But the good thing will be that the big issues will come to focus. The big issues will come on the agenda. What kind of politics do we want? What kind of people do we want to vote for? Etc. What is a public good? Should we have free healthcare? Should we have more free education? Should we have so much capitalism and consumerism? So there'll be big ideas that will come into the fore. Maybe artificial intelligence. And maybe some of them would also be, many of the unlikable ideas may also be implemented and tested and tried on a pilot basis. And it may be very uncomfortable again. And that's why I'm saying that the big ideas that will be there will be constantly challenged or confused by smaller ideas. Okay, the dark forces will not stop opposing them. And again, I have the same card, 8 of Air. And so it will create a cloudy vision. It will inhibit it will slow down the process of creating a fairer and a more just world, a more balanced world. And everybody will have this big responsibility of clearing their vision, listening to or taking into account both the sides. You have to see what is really right and why, and what is wrong. And if you are thinking in a very self-centered way and not in the way of the good for all. So that's the whole point about the big ideas challenged by small ideas. The big ideas, good for all, and the small ideas, but what about me? I will have to lose so much. Okay. But finally, I asked then, what is the kind of system that will finally emerge after we go through this pandemic and the struggle and the tussle between the good and bad forces, the gods and demons, the dark and light is over, and when finally light wins, what is the kind of world that we'll come into? And I got Oops. Okay, I'm dropping these cards today. I don't know why. It's a mystery to me. Uh, I got the Priestess card. Okay, Priestess card. But it was in the reversed. So the Priestess card, as you can see, number 2 also looks like 11 sometimes. Stands for balance, 1 and 1. Balance, harmony. It also stands for feminine energy, but it was in the reversed. It also stands for spiritual growth, but it was in the reversed. Okay, and I will tell you why it was in the reversed. This will be the beginning of a world where people embrace their feminine side. This is the beginning of the world where all the ideas that are motivated by a toxic uh, a toxic motivation, like um, like who is more powerful. Okay, who, someone has more missiles is more powerful. No, maybe someone who has less poor people is more powerful. That's the kind of shift that we are going to see in the world in the years after coronavirus goes away. And the world will embrace, and the world is going to embrace all the principles and all the things that people term right now as soft or feminine. But the important thing is that a lot of us need to embrace our feminine sides. For example, getting into a fight may be very macho. Having a war may be very macho, even if it has a big cost, even if it costs many lives and a lot of money. Maybe peace through other methods. Maybe not fighting and having truce, compromises. Maybe that could be a better way for the world to function. Making less arms and, say, having more food, or making more schools and universities and hospitals. The whole idea, the whole thing about care, nurture, the things that are associated with women, which right now are supposed to be weak, but they're not weak. They will emerge as a force. And I clarified this card with another card, and I got the King of Water. Water stands for emotions in a very simplistic way, and the King card is for someone who's mature, who is in control of his emotions, who's not an emotional wreck, but he's actually in control of emotions. So he realizes the importance of emotions, and maybe we'll go into a world which works with more feminine emotions, with more compassion, with less greed but more compassion, with less competition with each other, with a tempered, maybe a tempered idea or tempered race towards economic growth, but a more stronger idea of universal well-being, of universal health, education, freedom, and all of those things. Everything that it could also mean having more female leaders, more female politicians, more female scientists, more female doctors, and women being honored for their work in every sphere of life, including inside households. It also means having men. It also symbolizes a fundamental change in men's attitudes towards women, and also men's embracing of their feminine side. A lot of men love cooking, and a lot of them may be more proud of it, and we're already going towards it. People embracing their sexuality even more, and all the taboos around sexuality kind of coming down, toning down. There being more acceptance in the world for innovative kind of different kind of living structures, marriages, sexuality, things like that, partnerships. And so I tried to clarify this answer, and I drew out an oracle card, and I was really surprised to see this. cherishing self. I accept and love myself. Yes. A lot of people would stop being insecure and will start loving themselves more. Women who have more masculine abilities, which are so called masculine, ambition or physical strength or whatever, and men would be more free to say, give more help for household things. It would be more natural and more equal for men to perform duties that have already always been associated with women, and vice versa. So basically we are going to a more equal world. And why I'm so sure of this message is because I got first the divine feminine card, and it was clarified by uh, a male card, and that too something that stands for water. So this is an evolved man who doesn't need weapons, and here is the divine feminine. So the female and the male, both in their powerful forms, are here. And the definitions of what is femininity and what is masculinity will also be reversed, not reversed, they will, I'm sorry about that, they will also go through evolution and change. They will no more be fixed. So with this personal revolution, with the personal change of perspective, will start a big global change of perspective. People's choices are going to change, and in the coming year we are going to be calmer, happier with ourselves, more satisfied, and more compassionate human beings. But for now we are going through the pandemic because this tussle between the light and the dark is happening, and it will lead us here. It will lead us to become happier, more content people, less competitive, more content. So we are going through this passage, a rites passage, a difficult procedure to get somewhere. We have to start looking deeper, and from there we come to a place where we find ourselves and we cherish it. So that's why coronavirus is happening. That's what at least my angels tell me. I hope you really liked my message that's given out by my tarot cards. Please put your comments and your reactions to these readings in the comment section below. You can follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on YouTube. And I'm always looking forward to your comments and your requests for readings. So keep the suggestions coming. Take care, stay healthy, and we'll meet very soon. Bye for now.